どうした?
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? I'm the host of Rokakaka podcast, and here's my co-host, my worst half, my British half, Harvey. How are we doing today, my friend?
Yeah, remember when we said JoJolion was bad?
Oh yeah, remember when we said there was no plot progression, and like we said Araki has dementia? Remember that?
Okay, no, I said that as a worst timeline. I said that as a
worst case
scenario.
Yeah, I was talking with my friend, my good friend Isaac a couple of weeks ago, and he mentioned this to me. He brought up a very good point, where it's like, well, maybe he's just not forgetting shit. Maybe he's just dropping the idea of, like, say, using the bite marks or something, which is a fair point. That could also exactly be the case. Never know.
Yeah. I think the reason why I brought that up is just more because, if for one, worst case scenario, and two, Araki has dropped more, or quote-unquote forgotten more than just the bite marks.
Well, I would say that he forgot Mitsuba, Jobin's wife, but that's definitely not the case now.
That was a great segue, my dude.
I know, thank you. Alright, let's get started on the chapter. So,
this chapter was great.
Oh, this chapter was the thing we needed for JoJolion. We got all the Higashikatas talking to each other, talking with the plant appraiser. We got freaking more propagation with Yasuo, because we haven't seen her in a while. A new character introduced, which, even though we don't know this guy's name, I already love him. Doctor. I'm just gonna call him Doctor.
That guy, yeah. Before I read the chapter, I did see, I think it was Mete, or someone on my feed, who said, I wonder what this guy's occupation is.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, guess what this guy's occupation is. 3 tags that say doctor.
But I'm sorry. I mean, I like the guy's outfit and all, but the amount of tags he has around him.
It's a bit excessive.
Yeah, it's a cool design. Like, I very much enjoy his design. I really like his hair. I like how his hair is formed. But I'm also like, should a man covered in, like, doctor, not buttons. What do you call them?
Tags.
Tags. But doctor tags. Should he really be, like, a doctor? I mean,
He has a PhD in doctor, don't you know?
He has a PhD in fashion with all those things.
Dude.
But we start the chapter with, obviously, the chapter cover, which...
It's 2 very straight men.
And a child.
It's like, yeah, I saw this on my feed too, where it was like the cover of the chapter, and it was X-Force, I'm pretty sure, and then someone it was a reply, and it was like, with the way Tsurugi's face looked like, it was like, yeah, we're gay, keep scrolling.
Sure, you're gay, oh my god. But after that, the chapter cover, well, before the chapter cover, we have the Shonen Jump cover. Well, the Ultra Jump cover.
The Ultra Jump. It looks great. It reminded me a lot of last year's Thus Spoke Rohan Kishibe cover. Where
that's what I think it's supposed to be a parallel to, because it's paint.
Yeah.
It's paintbrushes going towards Josuke.
That makes sense, because Araki has done that a couple times, where it's a parallel between Gappy and Rohan. Like, we've seen like covers on Thus Spoke Rohan Kishibe and JoJolion where they're doing the exact same pose. But the biggest thing about the chapter, besides the whole doctor scene, was the Higashikata's talking with Mamazuku
for the first time, and I love the art with them. I love the planter parade with Mamazuku with his arms crossed, and Joshu just coming being like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
I love it. I love like,
Joshu, man.
Like, Joshu is like, I was really wanting to get more Joshu chapters, or at least more Joshu in my life.
Yeah.
Because I love the guy. I love he's like, the strange outfit. I like his personality.
Yeah, he's like fun, but like he's a freaking creepy virgin male weirdo, but
who likes idols and Kamen Rider,
Johnny Depp, sausages, shoot,
mushrooms. But like, I just love the way how he's like characterized, like, and it makes sense because it's like, oh, so the plant appraiser, a man we always hear about but never see, and when we see him, the entire orchid goes on fire.
On fire. It's like, okay, Dad, that is one introduction, but you gotta calm down. It's like, and then, friggin' Jobin, like, I mean, I have the chapter loaded up right here. The whole conversation Jobin has with Josuke, I love how they have the conversation of Jobin trying to fool Josuke into going to the university, and then a couple of pages later, Mamozuku already figures out that Jobin has the Rokakaka fruit.
Yeah, no, I heard that, and the first thing I thought of is like, I understand, like, Mamozuku's, like, a smart guy, and he's probably not an idiot, but I felt like, can you really just know, or just have such an extreme hunch that they were the ones who lit the orchid, just by their face, just by their body and facial language?
I mean, at the same time, he was probably, like, looking at Jobin the entire time that he was talking with Josuke, and, like, he saw, like, Tsurugi and how, like, he looked very, like, nervous, like, he was sweating. Like, we saw that. We had, like, a close-up of his face. So
yeah,
maybe, like, that gave a hint, maybe?
Yeah, because it's like, oh, they'll probably put the branch in a cactus. That would probably be the best place to do it.
Right.
But speaking more about the art, I love Joshu's and Plant Appraiser's facial expressions throughout this.
Throughout this chapter, it's great.
Like just the comical, like smug ass faces Joshu pulls, and the fucking pouting, somewhat pissed but also somewhat serious drawings of Mamozuku.
Yeah.
I also like how his hat is now a little bit more. At least from what I got, I feel like that his hat and clothing's a lot more rugged, like maybe a lot more damaged.
And it makes more sense because he almost just died.
But like after we get the whole comedic scene with, actually getting to see more Daya and Joshu, which is always
we haven't seen Daya and Hato in like a hot minute.
Though I'm pretty a lot of the Daya faces in this chapter are
she looks really derpy.
Very derpy to say the least. Like,
yeah, her eyes are like creeping me out, man.
It's not her eyes; it's also her mouth. Because in I think every drawing of Daya in this chapter, her mouth is just not every drawing, but most drawings, her mouth is just open. Like,
let me go through the chapter. Let me see. Okay, one, we got. No, we do have a panel with her mouth closed.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've been skimming through. It's like, oh no, we have like one or two panels of her mouth being closed.
But yeah, actually, what's funny is that we on Twitter, I remember the day the chapter came out, people leaked more colored scans of JoJolion that came out in Japan, and we got like color schemes for like Blue Hawaii, Josefumi.
Those color schemes, look, I saw those color schemes and they were just fucking I forget his guy, the guy with like no limbs. He creeped me the fuck
Blue
out.
Hawaii guy, the blue Hawaii guy.
He creeped me the fuck out with his like official color scheme.
Yeah, it was weird because I for some reason expected him to be like a grayish color, but then no, he comes in with red, and it's like I did not expect that. And then Blue Hawaii is obviously blue, and then Hato's stand Walking Heart is also red. I guess they just love that color. And then I love how they colored in Josefumi's / Kira's death. With, like, Josefumi crumbling away, but then in the background, the sky is, like, pure red. It's almost like...
I haven't seen these colored variations.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you can find them on, like,
yeah, I'm sure I can find them. Do they have... I know Mamozuku's official color scheme is probably really easy to figure out, but... Do they have Mamozuku?
They've gotten to the first part of the Blue Hawaii, from what I can... get. Oh yeah, and what's her name? Carrera, she gets a color scheme. I forgot. Oh yeah, and Love Deluxe is also red. So I guess it just proves my point. But no,
yeah, that
they.
character who hasn't been seen in a while.
And then she said that she would come back, but I guess that they're just saving that for the finale. I'm guessing.
But to get off of a tangent,
Right.
You know, we finally go to the hospital, and this was the scene where I was like, "Who's this girl? Who is she? Is she Holly?"
Yeah, no, it's like raise your hand if when you first saw this girl, you thought it was Kato with a different haircut.
I
that's
thought,
what I first thought
maybe
originally.
it's Kato, and then it's like she's going like, especially because it's like Shigata-san. I'm like, oh yeah, and then it's more.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, oh,
And then it's
my
like-
kid. It's like my husband's been going with his son, and I'm like, wait, this is Jobin's wife.
Yeah, Jobin's wife. It's and until they said Higashikata Mitsuba-san, I thought it was Kato, and she was talking about Jobin, but no, it's
I do
Jobin's
like it.
wife, which we haven't seen. For
I completely
long
forgot
time,
she
now that I
exists.
think
I
about
really
it.
like her design with like the seafood dress type thing.
Right. And every member of the Higashikata family, I swear they have like arrows on their outfits. Every single one except for like maybe Josuke or something. Because she has an arrow
The one
down
thing
her
which
chest.
made me very, unless I've missed something, is the fact that she has something along the side, like the rock disease. Like she has something like rock disease.
Yeah.
Which the first thing I thought was, what if Jobin doesn't care for his son and only wants his wife?
And he's trying to get his wife.
And I was just trying to like, that was like the first thing I thought. Is like, what if Jobin lied to his son?
And he's trying to get his wife better. But then we confer. It's most likely what happens is that Jobin doesn't know that Mitsuba has the rock disease.
Yeah, I guess. But like, I was just like, but how did she get it? Like the only thing I could think of was like, if I remember, maybe the hair clip.
Well, no, that's Yasuo, so I don't think that would affect...
Yeah, I know that's Yasuo. I can't remember the hair... Didn't the hair clip, like, give you something alongside? Or something like the rock disease?
No, no, I know what you're talking about, because, like, the hair clip, it, like, shot out, like, its tongue into your head or something, and it does something. Or, like, it changes your emotion or something like that. I don't remember. But it has nothing to do, I don't think, with the rock disease. From what I remember.
Yeah. But when we're in the hospital, I was just like, the first thing I thought was, is it Holly? Well, first it was, is this Kato? But then when we go to a doctor, I'm like, is this Holly? And then I was like, no, it can't be Holly.
Yeah, because Holly is, like, incredibly sick. She's never let out of the hospital.
I was, like, very puzzled at first, and then it's like, oh, he mentioned his husband's son.
Yeah.
With a photo of, Tsurugi, so it's like Jobin's wife.
I think what I found
what they're
interesting
gonna do
is
with
that
her.
I was rereading the colored scans of JoJolion, and I was rereading the chapter where Yasuo meets Holly. Holly sees Paisley Park, meaning that Holly probably has a stand.
I disagree with that. I think in part 7, they are stand users who can... No, non-stand users who can see stands.
Remind me of that again, because I know that's true, but I forgot who.
It might be for some stands. I think people see Hey Ya. I think... Yeah, because Gyro sees Hey Ya, if I'm correct. He's like, what's that thing on his back?
But was this writing? Right, this was after like Heartbreaker, right?
I think this was before Heartbreaker.
Oh. Well then
I think
maybe it's because of the steel balls, I don't know. But it could be just going through JoJolion logic where some people can see stands, maybe. Or maybe it's just another case of Araki dropping an idea of, oh, maybe Holly has a stand. Just like the way... Oh, well, I was about to go on a whole tangent of how the Hollies in the respective universes are similar, but I'm pretty sure everyone already knows how they're similar, so I don't have to say anything.
Yeah, they're both useless.
I mean, they drive the plot, so they're not entirely
They're
useless.
good plot device. Oh no, I can't say that. But I very much I said this before. I like the Doctor's design, but one thing I wonder, how does he do his hair? Like, does he just wake up?
Oh my god!
And he just has an entire 1 hour doing his hair.
No, I think he just takes a shower and then he just straightens up his hair and he's like, all right, done. And then he just
What
walks
about
off
the
to work.
balls? What about like the fucking balls?
But that's a part of his head, I assume. A lot of characters in JoJolion have haircuts that like are very like not strange, yes, but like I don't know how to say it. Like they look kind of like nature. Like
I might say out of all the characters in JoJolion, this man has the most anime haircuts. Like you know how like the anime haircuts, like, oh, the hair's very pointy.
Yeah.
I feel like this guy has the most manga-esque / anime-esque haircut because it's all pointy and it's all stylish and stuff.
You never know, maybe it's a reference to Dr. Stone.
No, I saw Meti post that on Twitter.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yo, my dudes, Araki ran
Ran out of ideas and started
out
referencing
of,
manga characters.
album ideas, so he just started referencing mangas. Do you think Araki reads Dr. Stone?
I feel like he does read a lot of the manga in Ultra and Shonen Jump. Dr. Stone, I feel like, is one of them, probably.
Yeah, do you think Araki will be alive when One Piece?
Oh, he's gonna be alive, and that he has referenced One Piece before.
Has he?
He has. There was, I think it was early on in JoJolion, Yasuo was in a car with like some strangers, and in that stranger's car there were like some pieces, like some like toys hanging around the car, and one of them was a reference to Chopper from One Piece. But anyways,
so speaking more about this scene, I find it strange how this doctor has a lust for just eating. Like, I don't know what he's eating.
What the hell is he eating?
I was like, is he eating like some big bar of chocolates?
That's what it seems like.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, it is chocolate.
He's drinking a shit ton of water. Like he chugs it all.
He says, "So if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to eat chocolate eating."
I'm reading through the chapter right now. It's like, would you like to see? My hair is a bit crunchy, and it's like, all right, buddy, calm down. But after that whole scene where he's talking with Mitsuba about her rock disease, and I'm like, oh, you're fine, you're completely fine. And then they talk about the rock disease and how it's like the cure for it is 200 million yen, and
which is also the same price to rebuild the orchid, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Around the same price.
The whole thing about this chapter is talking about equivalent exchange, like a big part of JoJolion's story. Like in the beginning of the chapter, I'm surprised Araki did this. In the beginning of the chapter, he mentioned the baseball guy who had his jaw like fall off, but his like shoulder became better, like as an exchange for losing his jaw.
That was such an interesting. Well, you didn't actually talk about the beginning the beginning part of the chapter
because we forgot. All right.
No, I didn't forget. I was looking at the pages. I was just like, oh, we might as well talk about the family more. I find it. I love the design of the guy.
I like the little jaw that he has.
It's not a jaw. That's like it's a mask.
Yeah, it's a mask.
Jaw up.
And like it reminds me of My Hero Academia.
Oh no, My Hero Academia.
Boku no My Hero Academia.
But I would say the thing Matthew always says about My Hero, but I can't remember what he says.
Boku no. Please cancel One Piece.
Academia. Please. It's like My Hero.
Boku no, please cancel One Piece Academia or something like that. But then at the very end of the chapter we have Yasuo. She doesn't really do much except for like talk about Josuke and Mamazuku.
I think you just described Yasuho's entire character. Then there's Yasuho. She doesn't do much other than talk about Josuke and Mamazuki. Wow, that's such a great description of her overall character in the story.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong. Just because you're right doesn't mean it's correct.
Right. And then at the very end, we see Mitsuba's legs practically gone because you can see bone. Like, it's kind of it's like crumbling away. It's kind of gross. Honestly, whenever this scene gets animated, I feel like they're gonna go really into detail, like David Productions. And I think it's gonna be
they can do that because there's no blood involved, and the main problem.
That's true. It's like it's not like it's skin peeling away. It's
we can have skin peeling away as long as there's no blood. And this is essentially skin just breaking down with no blood. So unless there's actual supposed to be blood depicted in this illustration, then it should be completely fine in animation. One thing I'm just wondering though is like how her legs break so fast because her legs are like completely fine. Like geez, she must be like just decroding at this point if her legs are just breaking when they looked completely fine.
I'm honestly, it's like at this point in JoJolion, I'm just sad for Jobin.
Well, because it's a lose-lose situation right now. If he either saves his son and then a family member dies, he either saves his wife or a family member dies,
and then his son dies.
Oh no, because with the equivalent exchange, he can sacrifice someone's life. So I think if it came to this, it would not surprise me if, like, maybe Jobin got rid of the two people who are being a pain in his life right now, which is Mamazuku and Josuke.
That could entirely happen, but we don't know.
If we are talking about the what's it called? If Jobin only really cares for his wife, which could be a possible theory, I think he'd probably just get rid of Josuke, because the plant appraiser at least has some usefulness towards.
Yeah, he does. So I think he would just, like, if anything, if he could, probably just beat the shit out of the plant appraiser and then leave him alive for later.
I mean, if the plant appraiser does die, I feel like the plant appraiser won't die, because I feel like, after that scene in last chapter where he was all skin and bone, but he was A-okay, which I somewhat wish he died, because I felt like it would have been better. No, because I'm sorry. You fucking explode and you don't die. It's not that I want Plant Appraiser dead because I dislike him. I just feel like he should be dead because he shouldn't have survived that.
I mean, yeah, I can understand that. It's most likely, again, Araki, like, changing it, like, dropping the idea of him dying. I mean,
it can't be due to fan demand. Because I know if I'm correct, the reason why Abdul came back was due to fan demand, which is very strange, because the idea of Abdul being a popular character boggles my mind.
Why?
Abdul's cool for, like, the first few chapters he's in, and then he dies, and then his entire purpose is done as a character.
No, but then he comes. No, he's not there for a couple of chapters. He's there throughout the friggin' first half.
Yeah, and that's all we need Abdul for. Explain things Abdul did after he came back from the dead.
First of all, Abdul basically, every time they visited a new location in Egypt, or on their journey, basically, he helped them out understand the culture more, like what words mean, like stuff
after
like that.
After he came back?
And then help out after and before he came back. And then after and before he came back, he helped them with a couple of fights. And then after he came back, it was during the Dio's mansion where he died, where he helped figure out, like, where that
so
Kenny
you're saying
G,
so
like,
you're
the guy
saying for one Abdul did not save Kenny, did not handle Kenny G. Iggy handled Kenny G. Iggy killed.
Yeah,
Abdul literally was only put back because people wanted him back, and then he did nothing, and then he died again, which makes you just question, why did Abdul have to come back?
Fuck, you got a point.
in the Rokakaka podcast, Harvey changes Mike's opinion on Muhammad Abdul.
on everything.
Next time, we'll talk about something I dislike in JoJo. Again. But yeah.
To finish this off, we have now a time limit until basically the end of JoJolion.
10 days.
That's honestly
what
pretty
if 10 days
big.
is 10 years, people? What if we have JoJolion chapters for 10 more years?
For 10 more years. No, but it's like, so 2 days have passed since Mamazuka said that he had 12 days until the Rokakaka harvested. So 2 days have passed. So if it goes at this pace, 2 days pass every 4 chapters, we're gonna have JoJolion for 2-3 more years.
Thing is though, this day, I don't know if it's just the manga or just anime as well. It reminds me of Part 4, or at least it's anime, because in the anime, I don't know if this actually happened in the manga Part 4, because I haven't read Part 4 in ages. I know in the anime though, throughout the episodes, they would constantly tell you dates and times.
They wouldn't always tell you, but on occasion, yes, they would. For example,
especially during the final,
the Bites to Dust arc. Exactly, July 16th was the date when Bites to Dust first activated. Or no, yeah, it was that. Yeah, I was right.
They would start Superfly off with a date, and it's like, why is that important? It's like, because July 16th or whatever day Killer Cuisine happened. But yeah, overall, I do think JoJolion will probably end soon. As in probably a year, maybe a year, and
in a year or two. In a year or two, I think. Unless if it goes on a really fast pace from this point, in which case, yes, it will most likely end in a year.
Which I wouldn't mind, because I feel like if we just keep leaving JoJolion to go on, it will just eventually just be it'll just go like what happened before Poor Tom, where we just introduced a character and then we just get strung along by but then the next villain comes and but then the next villain, with no actual progress being made other than going up a chain.
Yeah, I feel like now we're at the final location in JoJolion, which is a hospital,
in which we're actually making progress. Because the good thing about the days is that it gives us, a time limit. In Steel Ball Run, our progress bar was how long until we get to New York. And now our progress bar for this is less of a progress bar and more of a time limit for the characters to overcome.
But yeah, this was honestly a really good chapter. I really like where the story's going, and I can't wait till next month. There's no break, so that's even better.
Yeah.
But I guess to finish this off, Harvey, do you have anything to plug?
Well, I've been streaming more. I've recently just finished a Pokemon Black 1 as well, where I actually won. Unlike
are you gonna do Black and White 2?
I'm gonna do Black 2 eventually. Not this month, probably next month. I'll do it. I actually beat it, unlike the show over in the Quirkless podcast, Callum K64.
Do you have to mention his podcast every episode now?
Yes, it's my brother's brother duty. I have to mention Callum's podcast, who recently had a couple episodes ago,
Medi not the bad guy
on, which was a very interesting watch.
I mean, that's what he has over us now.
Yeah,
he has Medi.
No, he doesn't have Medi. He had Medi for one episode.
Right.
But if you're interested in My Hero, and you also like other people other than me and Mike, then you could go to the Quirkless podcast and listen to their opinions on the most recent My Hero chapters.
My Hero's really good, so I suggest.
Yeah, My Hero's really good. Endeavor's the best character right now. Yeah.
I wouldn't say the best character, but he's a really good character.
I'm so glad you actually said that. Because I get so many people saying he's a bad character, as in poorly written, which he isn't.
Right.
But thank you all for watching.
As always, Mike Dropkin. Mike, DRABKIN. We'll see you guys next month. There's been a whole bunch of shit happening in JoJo, and honestly, it feels so good because last year, besides like, the part 3 dub with the Thus Spoke Rohan Kishibe stuff,
Like, people care for the dub, really.
I care for the dub. It's about to, dude. Next week, or rather, I guess this week, they're starting the Dio fight.
Wow.
Which is kind of huge.
The only thing about the dub which I care about is that maybe it might may or may not help the manga, which we are getting printed English versions of part 4.
We are getting printed version of part 4,
which means we're actually one part ahead. We're not one step for part 7, English localizations. We can do this. That's all I care about. I will literally buy part 4 physical mangas to tell Viz, please localize part 7, my favorite JoJo part, my favorite manga, please.
In like 4 to 5 years, Harvey. In 4 to 5 years.
I might be dead in 4 to 5 years. I need my part 7 now.
Well, you're gonna have to wait. I guess we'll see you guys next month on the Rokakaka podcast for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 8, JoJolion. Goodbye.
You can cut this out if you want. I know my brother has been watching One Piece
Callum is
recently.
reading One Piece, and that's great.
No, he's watching the anime right now, and he was on Chopper's backstory, and I have no idea what Chopper's backstory is. And so he comes to me, and he's like all very upset, like almost crying because it's so sad. And I said, "Bitch, probably deserved it."
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
Oh wow, it's the same reaction.
It's sad. What the hell are you? If you're like fucking, if you're like reacting to a One Piece death with, I don't know, he deserved it. What is wrong with you? You need to see a doctor.
I didn't know it was a death. He wouldn't tell me.
There's a death in his backstory.